I just got done going through and pulling some measurements off of CAD, making sure that everything was set up correctly and that this was cutting right, and it looks like we're actually set to go here. So we're going to re-zero this thing and actually set the Z-axis to start cutting, and we're going to get really, really excited here. We'll see. We shall see here how it does. We only get so many attempts at this. Let's do it. Uh-oh, stop. It should lift. As you can drag that all the way across the darn thing. So it needs a lift. So I gotta manually add some G code in here. You should see it go up. There we go. Boy, this is scaring me here. Finger on the big red stop button. Alright, so that looked good. So we're going to go back to 0. Take some notes here. There we go. This one's live. Finger on the button. Yeah! Oh Lord, let this work. It looks like I could take out a lot more material per cut here. Code's been updated, and now we're running out here. Oh, that's this tool. I've never shot a CNC machine before, so here we go. So unfortunately, when I redid it, it's changed its sequence. Well, we got the first cut done, and I've had to go play with the G code a little bit. And it looks like I still need to play with the G code a little bit, but we're cutting. The major issue is really the offset. There might be some level issue. I am seeing that the material has some unlevelness in it. It's not perfectly flat. So I'm trying to compensate for that by giving the computer a little extra to bite on. And it looks like we've got it going on right now. I really like the molds, the guide mold. Oh, I'm going too fast. Going too fast. The first cut amount I've increased quite a bit, and the feed rate's been the same, and that's causing it to bounce a little bit, so I'm having to compensate for that. This is a big learning process for sure. It's cutting really nicely through the plastic, but that first amount is just a little too much, and it's making it want to skip. So I significantly reduced the feed rate, and we'll see how it does on the next new cut coming up here. Still got a little too much. We're actually going to stop this. So I'm going to go back and redo this code here because that first amount is just biting too much. I thought it would be okay, but it's not. And we don't want to break a bit, and we don't want to mess up the material. So while that is in there cutting, I wanted to come in here and just talk to you guys really quick about something that I think is really cool. So this is the kit I bought off of Amazon, and these are cheap bits, like I said in my previous video. I don't think it's appropriate to buy really expensive bits when you have so much learning to do. So what I think is really cool is that these are all CNC router table bits or just router bits, and there's just so many things you can do with it, and I just, you know, I think that's fantastic. Speaking of things you can do, you know, this one came with 4 1/8 bits, and this is one that I just bent by messing up the machine's 0. I screwed it up. So that's my bad. That's why cheap bits are the way to go when you're learning. But I wanted to give a big tip my hat to the manufacturers, machinists, and the fabricators that are out there. It really is like an art and a science of getting these machines to work. You know, the 3D printer was a great learning experience. I'm still learning on it. and now the CNC router is another great experience. For me as an engineer, it's really cool going from idea to fabrication, and now I understand why fabricators hate engineers. Hate's a strong word, but why fabricators come down on engineers. You know, there's so much in the design that if you just think of up front, it makes the manufacturing so much easier and less complicated and thus less expensive. So I just wanted to tip my hat to all the fabricators and manufacturers out there, machinists. You guys are awesome. I really have come to appreciate the skills that you guys have, and this world would be nowhere without you guys, so thank you so much. I also wanted to tip my hat to my wife, Mrs. Martian, who is starting to do her own YouTube videos. Now, if you've never done a YouTube video, you probably don't know how much work goes into them, but getting the camera right, getting the lighting right, getting the sound right, and then learning how to edit video is very complicated, and publishing stuff to YouTube is not the easiest thing in the world to do all the steps that you have to do. And she has taken all of that on, and she's learning, and she's coming up with some pretty great content. She really wants to do some organic, like how to heal yourself, great recipes, organic food, easy to do types of stuff, and she's putting that all out there for people to learn. And we created a new playlist called The Blossoming Table, which is her area, and she's putting stuff there. So please share with your wives, share with your girlfriends. I think what my wife is doing is great, and she's looking for comment and feedback and content ideas. I can tell you that my waistline speaks tremendously of her success making delicious meals, so much so I have to work out 5 days a week to keep the weight off. So anyway, I love my wife. I think she's doing great things, so please check out her her playlist on The Real Martian, Mrs. Martian's Little Corner. Let's go out and check and see how this last piece has been doing. So I just readjusted the code, but let me show you how the other one turned out. Really slick is how it turned out. Nothing really wrong with that at all. There's a few mistakes on it that I fixed on this one, but nothing really bad. So now we're just got to learn this tool, which we're pretty close to having it good enough. You know, we don't need to know everything about it. We just need to be able to make it work correctly, not hurt or break anything. So we'll see how this next cut does. I've changed the speed. It should be a lot better.